What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Shadowlands video. How are y'all doing? Listen, I hope you're doing very well. I hope that you've got a coffee like I do. The gnomes are ready to go. I'm ready to go. Let's get into this video. So I have, in fact, fixed my audio issues. I know that it was very low the last two videos, I think. So I got a new webcam, and then it just, like, OBS just decided to just change all my mic settings. And I had disabled all the mic settings on the new webcam to make sure that it wasn't, like, trying to go through the webcam. But OBS just decided to, like, completely change all my other settings as well. So I had to go back and fix all that stuff. So unfortunate there, but that's okay. We're back. And we're going to talk about this plus 20 hauls that I did. So we're going through all the dungeons now, basically, and on top of trying to get 3K rating, we're just getting all these 20s done, which gets me those portals that you can take to all the dungeons, which is very, very cool. And I have to get used to using them because I have like 4 of them now, and I haven't even used them once because I'm just so used to flying. But it's really, really exciting. So let me get into the build. We ran Witch Doctor Wolf Bones, but we did not run Frost Shock or Hailstorm. So let me get into that. Let's get into the build right now. So, what are we talking about here? We got Witch Doctor Wolf Bones. Pretty standard. It is a Tyrannical week, so you want extra boss damage. I am Necro Lord, so we're getting those haste windows that we've talked about over and over again. And then my talents is really where it's all changed. I took Forceful Winds, Storm Flurry, Ellie Assault, and Elemental Spirits. So we're not running... I actually should have taken Crashing Storm just to try it out, but Sundering's really good. We're not running a fire build. You know, we're not running Hot Hand, Lashing Flames, Fire Nova. And we're not running Ellie Blast for sort of that single target damage, which I think is actually fine. There's nothing wrong with running Ellie Blast with this build. But what I really loved about this build was just how simple it was. And it allowed me to really just focus on my rotation really, really well. And I think it produced some good numbers. So I did 15.1k overall damage in this plus 20 Halls of Atonement. You can see it right there. We did 15.1k overall in the halls, which is like pretty good for an enhancement shaman, in my opinion, because Halls of Atonement is really, really AoE based, and often we can struggle as an enhancement shaman to keep up with the other classes in terms of their AoE damage. So I was super impressed by this. You can see Storm Strikes at the top, Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, and Crash Lightning's up there too. Crash Lightning alone almost doing 8.5% of our damage. And then the Splash Attack coming from Crash Lightning afterwards also doing damage. So we did not take Hailstorm. We weren't using that to cool down the Wolves. The Wolves still had a really ridiculously high uptime. We had 72% uptime on the Wolves. Even a better uptime than when I ran the Hailstorm build. 72% uptime on the Wolves. So I think that, like, this build works really, really well. It really simplifies your rotation. All you end up doing is, like, summoning your wolves, and then you're just doing your standard AoE rotation, which I haven't done in such a long time, because I've either been doing a fire build with Fire Nova or a frost build with Hailstorm and Frost Shock. And not that I'm not doing the normal rotation, but I'm not doing it as much. All I have for AoE is my Crash Lightning into my Chain Lightning into my Storm Strike and splashing the Crash Lightning damage around. And you're just rotating between Crash Lightning and Chain Lightning. That's basically what you're doing because they help to reset each other, right? Chain Lightning, each target hit by Chain Lightning reduces the cooldown of Crash Lightning. Crash Lightning increases the damage of your Storm Strike. Storm Strike does the extra splash damage as well from Crash Lightning. So, and then it builds you as a, it builds Maelstrom weapon stacks to get you back to Chain Lightning, which reduces the cooldown of Crash Lightning. You see how the rotation works there? So you, like, run into a pack, you hit Crash Lightning, then you, to buff your Storm Strike, you hit Storm Strike to generate Maelstrom weapon stacks, and then you hit Chain Lightning to give you your Crash Lightning back. That's been the rotation for Enhancement Shaman for a very, very long time. But with the talent setup, we have changed things up a bit, right? Like, if you're doing the fire build with Primal Lava Actuators, you're much, much more focused on pressing Lava Lash to spread around the Flame Shocks, and then you're detonating with Fire Nova. You spend a lot less time just doing this simple, basic rotation for Enhancement Shaman. So this is like the basic Enhancement Shaman rotation that just works Like, very much, it just works all the time with this little setup here. I went with as many passive talents as possible. I actually really would like to try Crashing Storm one of these days, so I need to try that maybe tonight. But this is the build. It's very, very simple, and then obviously the only extra thing you're doing is your Primordial Wave haste windows. So we ran Unruly Winds, Focus Lightning, Tumbling Waves. I did not run Chill to the Core because I'm not really pressing Frost Shock. You can see Frost Shock's way down here. I only pressed it 49 times. So it was not a priority, and the Wind Fury attack almost ended up being 8% of our damage, so that was worth it. So this is like ultra passive, standard Enhancement Shaman AoE rotations for the dungeon, and we ended up doing 15k. Our Wolves uptime ended up being 72%, which is really, really high. That's really good uptime on Wolves. So we generated a ridiculous amount of Maelstrom weapon stacks, over 4,200. So this build works. We ended up doing 15k overall. Like, I'm really impressed by that. I'm really happy with that. I just, yeah, I think that's a good number. So let's get into the actual dungeon itself. Let me get the first poll started here for you. Hold on, let me pause one sec. I need to move, let me activate this. And then I need to move this over. Okay, perfect. We're good. We're good now. So let's get this started. So this is the opening pull that you're going to pop Lust on. We actually could have pulled more, but Joe just decided to pull. This is what he's used to in terms of his route, and that's perfectly fine. So we pulled this, and you're going to see Kaz and Zara end up absolutely blowing up this pack. Look at the Marksman Hunter doing 74k. I'm sick and tired of people saying that hunters, you can only be a survival hunter. I mean, I like survival hunters, but like, look at this. She's absolutely demolishing this pack. She's doing almost 80k DPS right now, so it's perfectly fine. They work fine. Look at Kaz. Just catch up there. 60k
right,
from
guys,
him.
Calm down.
Again, I'm doing a cool 20k, which is not a lot, but again, Enhancement Shaman, especially with my build, it's really more single target focused. I've got the dogs out. My AoE rotation is kind of limited. I don't have the big Fire Nova AoE.
Dude, you know,
So you have to keep that into consideration. But pack to pack to pack, I'm going to have damage. So watch this. They just blew all their cooldowns. Now it's my turn to sort of hopefully catch up a little bit on the damage and make sure that I'm helping my team out as much as possible. So I spread all my Primordial Waves around there, and I got a big haste buff rolling. Get the Wolves going. Big Sundering there.
Leave me alone.
I will turn this down a little bit.
Like, right in the face, too. Like,
so again, we'll have the consistent damage. Kaz is doing great. He's doing almost 50, 60k here. It just keeps doing more, which is great. Kaz is absolutely clapping this dungeon. And again, I think our damage is going to show up a little bit more on the smaller packs and on single target damage. That's what you're kind of looking at, right? So, but again, don't worry about it. You've seen my dungeon at the end of I already showed you my overall, right? It ends up being 15.1.
that's what they do.
Kaz ends up being 15.7 and Zara's 16.1. So like, we're not that far behind. It always looks bad in the opener, right? But that's because everybody has big cooldowns and they have their big AoE stuff rolling, which is good. You need this. It's always should be like a team. You got to work as a team, right? So we are particularly the Shaman and the Druid can both get rid of curses. So this is a great dungeon for us. I do have a magic dot on me that I think Xlynks is just busy, so he forgets to take it off of me, but that's okay. I think he got rid of the curse on somebody, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. So again, we're always going to be doing around 20k, 21k. There's a couple pulls where I get up to like 25k, but let me move my notes over here. But it's always consistent, which is great, and it's really easy to pull off. It's so easy to pull off. Like, you're just doing Crash Lightning into Chain Lightning into Storm Strike. Storm Strike, Storm Strike, Chain Lightning, Crash Lightning. Storm Strike, Crash Lightning, Chain Lightning. You're just rotating between those three. That's almost all you're doing. And then occasionally you're going to go Primordial Wave into your Lightning Bolt Cleave, right? So it's really clean, it's really simple, and the damage is good. The damage is solid. So again, all the trash in the dungeon ends up being at the beginning for Halls of Atonement, basically. You get almost, I think, 70% of your trash in this opening section, like, as you're killing the first boss. So just remember that's always how it's always front-loaded. This is a good one for us, I think. We get our Primordial Wave out, and then boom. We're doing 22k here.
Yeah, I think I did it a little early.
23. It's good. Every pack, we've done at least 20k. Like, that's how it goes, which is good. Great for us. Again, on the lower pack size, we're going to catch up again.
My pod.
Zara keeps getting pod tended, which is pretty funny. Let's go to 440. 45. It's coming up here. 440, 40. Here it is. This is a little pack. Oh, there's a little bit of a glitch here, guys. Sorry. Something was going on with Twitch when I was recording this, but there'll be a couple more of those throughout the dungeon. 26k for us here, so you can see the AoE is still there. 27, 28k. I'm just playing it a little bit better. I'm learning how the rotation needs to work a little bit better. So I think we also had a couple of Stormstrike dogs there. So again, you summon so many wolves here. 72% uptime on the dogs is no joke. I mean, it's just fantastic. So there's the damage there. You can see it works well on AoE packs. It's not the top damage. You know, certainly when you pull really big and the Marksman Hunter and the Warlock have their cooldowns rolling, they're going to blow everything up. This is a bit of a dangerous pull here by Joe, but he knows that we can handle it, I think, and we just need to make sure we kick what we need to kick, and it is inspired, so you can only kick a couple of guys here, but you just need to basically do as much damage as possible and blow it up.
Rocky's
so I'm doing 25k right now. Zara's going to shoot past me here because she's got Wild Spirits down, and here comes Kaz with his Rain of Fire, catching up. He's going to pass me here. Boom, boom. Everybody gets very close to death, but Xlynks is doing a fantastic job. Look at Joe healing. Joe's healing for 21k. Death Knight things. Xlynks is just healing for 7, but Xlynks is keeping the rest of us alive, which is huge. And the DPS, we're just pumping, man.
Run, 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 run.
This is the kind of damage that that you need to do 20s and 21s. But you don't need, like, you don't need everybody to be doing 30 to 40k DPS all the time.
Dude.
You don't. You'll see here that we're fine. We got Woe there, which is probably not what we wanted, but that's okay. So we end up killing this, and then we move forward to this final pack before the boss. One thing I do want to mention is we do not have any Venthyr people at all. So I actually volunteered to go Venthyr if we needed it for this dungeon, but we actually had already done a Halls of Atonement on like a 19 or something, and we didn't seem to need it. So it's not a big deal. You don't actually have to. I think maybe if we go a little bit higher in keys, we're probably going to want the buff because it's free, as long as it doesn't like brick somebody's build. I'm probably the best candidate to switch to it because Chain Harvest is fine. I just prefer the Necrolord style, but it would totally be fine to play it. Here comes Halkias, boss fight number 1. There's nothing too crazy here. We end up getting a lot of damage right off the bat. What you want to always watch for as melee is don't ever stand with the tank, right? So Joe's doing a great job here of trying to position himself right here so that every one of the tank slams ends up being in the same spot. So watch this. He's going to get slammed again by the tank. Look, he backs up into the puddle. Do you see that? Joe's taking extra damage right now because he knows this crumbling slam is coming. Boom, there it is. He puts it in the exact same spot, which it gives us way more room to work with. So that was really good stuff from Joe. As a DPS, for melee DPS, you must be standing away from the tank. So Joe's going to try and put them in the same spot once again. I think he's going back to... He's kind of putting them all in the same area. He's got a little area. There's the third crumbling slam. So Joe's doing such a great job there. And everybody's doing even the range. So you can see that Zara there. You see what she did there? Really cool stuff. She's over here right now. She's under the boss because she knows that a ranged person will get targeted with one of those circles once again. So she's standing right next to the puddles here. Here comes the cast. Heave debris, and look, it goes right where the rest of them are. So Joe and Zara just absolutely like crushing the mechanics of this fight. You need to understand that as the ranged people, you should always be standing kind of in melee or near where the other like red puddles are so that you can drop them all in the same spot because you will run out of room on this fight, especially on Tyrannical Week. This fight's very difficult, and we haven't even grabbed this Stoneborn, so there's a chance we're going to run into that Stoneborn because we're done a Venthyr. So we're doing decent damage here, almost 15k. Zara's just absolutely blowing it out of the water, which is great. The Marksman Hunter was great. Like, she did so much damage. So it was really good to see that. But I just wanted to mention the stuff about the heave debris. Kaz doing a good job there of being near the other puddles. He does get kind of chunked by that heave, but that's okay. He put it in the right spot, which was the whole point, and that's good. Once again, another one by Zara. She puts it right there. So that's what you have to keep doing. You need to
real ugly.
You need to make sure that you get as much space as possible on this boss fight, or else
Right.
you'll end up just running out of room. And that's it. We end up killing him here, and we move on. I actually ended up at the top at the very end there, just because of that's that consistent damage coming from our kit, right? It's not cooldown based. So now we need to hide in the corner while Joe pulls the Woe Automa.
I'll hide here, right? I'll hide in the corner here.
So Joe grabs Woe. Joe grabs Woe. That's a good sentence. We killed a couple guys, so he pulls a whole pack, and we killed them. And then we grab Woe, and we skip. Sorry. We're going to skip. This bricked for us last time. We did this on a plus 19, and I ended up pulling and dying, but it's okay. You just want to get through here and skip all this stuff because you don't need to do any of it because we pulled enough trash. So I went really safe here. I wanted to make sure I didn't touch anything. And we get through clean, which is nice. Remember, you can always do that Woe skip.
Xlynks, just get yourself every time here.
And then we have 2 curses, 2 D curses for this fight. This guy, Echelon, puts 2 curses out every time he does, I forget what the ability is called, but you're going to see it here. Shamans and Druids can both decurse, so that's pretty huge. And we did this key on a 19, and Xlynks, our healer, kept decursing, I think, whoever got the circle around them, which is a smart idea, except then people would be dying because he got stunned, and he couldn't heal anybody. So I just sort of said to him, hey, why don't you just decurse yourself? Here's Curse of Stone. I said, just decurse yourself, and then you can heal everybody, because this is a pretty healing-intensive moment. So that was pretty great. And I think it's on the whoever gets the circle, which is used to blow up the corpses of the ads. It's their responsibility to get to the spot where they need to get to before they get stunned. I think there's very, very few moments where that's not the case. Like you really, it's on that person. So we still have the Woe buff rolling, which is good for damage reduction on this fight. And then we have, we had going, I think, there as well. So cooldown reduction, which is great. Not as important for my build, because I already get cooldown reduction on my dogs, but, like, the more dogs, the merrier, right? It's always better. So Zara's just, like, kicking ass here, doing 31k. Damage we're doing almost 17, which is good. This is, yeah, this is where we're going to help out for sure. Over the course of this fight, our damage is going to continue to creep up and up. I spread 1 Primordial Wave here. I already have a Frost Shock on the a Flame Shock on the boss. I put another Flame Shock over here. Then I try to spread it with Lava Lash, which is it's successful, and then I hit my Lightning Bolt. So I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 60% haste from that Primordial Wave right there. And then I'm just going. And I get my Wolves back off cooldown. It was kind of spread AoE for a minute here, which is really bad for us, but that's okay. On the next one, I think Joe pulls in all the ads here. Let me see it. Here comes the ads. Joe, I think, has his grip back up. He has Gorfiends, and he just grabs them all and pulls them in, which is fantastic. Maybe it's on the next one. Must be on the next one. Somebody has to go in and blow up the corpses. Again, this fight... This fight can get progressively more difficult because if you can't deal with the ads, they'll just zerg you down. Their little spell that they do like just does so much damage. So
kill all of them.
Xlynks is doing a great job healing everybody. There's the next bone chatter. Now, the ads are coming up again, and he grips them all in. This is really good. DKs are just like insane. DKs are basically broken right now in Mythic Plus. He just grips them all in right here, and then we can do so much damage. This is really good for me, my build. I was doing like 13.5k. Now I'm doing 14.5, almost 15k here. Like it just, it's crazy for my damage. There it is. So that's the boss fight. We end up killing him, getting him down, and that's good. That's probably the hardest boss fight in the dungeon by far, and we handled it pretty well. Now we do have double decurse, which is huge. If you have no decurses on your team when you're doing that fight, it's an absolute nightmare. It's just not even. It's really bad. So let's skip ahead. We do kill this trash here. Let me skip ahead to Aleez, 454. So it's pretty good. Right before we get to Aleez, we have Vi. So you want to kill Vi and then grab on the boss fight itself. So we get the haste from Vi, and then we kill here. I think we do. Do we get? I think we get him. Yeah. Look at her damage there. Look at this. She's doing like 7k, 6k, 5k. She puts Wild Spirits down. Boom! 15k. That's amazing. I love that. This is so great. The damage was so great from everybody. Zara was just absolutely clapping on the Marksman Hunter. Really cool to see a Marksman Hunter. I haven't seen one in a while, so it was really neat. So again, nothing special on this fight. You can kick. You can't get every single volley of power as the shaman, even though your cooldown's really low. But we do lots of damage here, and that's the fight. What do we do? About 13.
It feels like
almost 13k overall, 12.5. Then we run into this next room, and we get you AoE this next room.
I'm going back left here.
You always want to AoE this next room. It's pretty bad for my build here. Like the Fire Nova build would be way, way, way better for this. But I just do my best to sort of corral all these mobs and get it down.
Damage I did last.
But we end up getting them all down. We do Dark Communion guy. Then there's a really funny moment I want you guys to hear from Xlynks.
How many pillars is Xlynks gonna get hit by?
Me? No, 0.
Listen to this.
You got hit like twice last time.
What group are you in?
You literally did when we were in here. You got hit like multiple times.
I think you're thinking of something else, but
Okay. So Xlynks is calling me out. He's saying that I'm full of it, and I don't know what I'm talking about, and he didn't get hit by any pillars. So let's see what happens on this boss fight. All right, let's just let's take a look on this boss fight.
Okay.
There's the first toss. Oh, Xlynks didn't get hit. Okay, maybe I'm a liar. Maybe Zuko's just full of it. Maybe I have
extra vigilant now.
Absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. Maybe.
I did not see him point that at me.
oh, I just got drilled by one.
Oh no!
Yes. Funny. Yes. He got wrecked by a pillar. Fuck yeah. I think I was misremembering. For some reason I think I did a halls with him and he got hit like once or twice, but I actually don't think he gets hit that much. It was just so funny that he said he never gets hit by pillars, right. And then he gets absolutely spanked by a pillar. It was so funny. Oh, I loved that.
I know, but
so this fight's pretty simple. Just remember that he's gonna do this ritual of woe where you have to block it all. He does it twice basically, and then once you get him to a certain health percentage, he doesn't do it anymore. So there's the first one. And then here comes the next one. I'm gonna do it right.
This is the last time I think he's gonna do it.
So this is the last time he does it, because we've got his health to a certain percentage here. This one gets really ugly because of quaking. Watch the quaking here. This is really dangerous. So we're all soaking right now.
I'm gonna fleshcraft just to.
We're missing one, and then we start moving. Now we're missing two. Watch our health. We start getting absolutely wrecked. Zara's almost dead, and then we recover. We grab them all again. So
good job.
Everybody does a good job there.
That was actually insane.
But quaking actually makes that really difficult, surprisingly hard, which is cool. You gotta love quaking.
I got 1/8 of his health.
Yeah, it'll kill the rest of us.
But that's it. We get to the end here,
Ace
and
takes it.
we
Way
do
to
end
go,
up
dude.
killing him.
I'm proud.
And we get Keystone Hero again for the Halls
wow,
of Atonement.
No, we needed that, the 3 of us.
We got 8 more rating, which is really good. So, yeah, that's the dungeon in a nutshell. Let me move back over here. Let me get this back up. Okay, so, that was it. Let's look at the over-under once again. I'll show you the damage profile once again. So we did 15.1 overall, which I'm really happy about. Really happy with that damage. Lightning Bolt's the biggest because of the cleaving from Primordial Wave, Storm Strike, Flame Shock, and then you have the Chain Lightning, Crash Lightning combo with our Spirit Wolves in the middle there. So it's all nature damage. Again, so it's really good actually to run Mastery with this build. That's what I'm running. I have 63%. I think when I Fleshcraft, it goes to 70, right? So all of that Crash Lightning damage and the Crash Lightning cleave damage that happens when you Storm Strike, right? That does nature damage to everybody in front of you. All your Chain Lightnings, all your Lightning Bolts. It's just your Storm Strike itself that doesn't actually benefit from Mastery, but getting the resets on it, the Stormbringer resets, does actually benefit. So you get a little bit of the Stormbringer benefit there. giving you an extra 3% chance. Also triggering Wind Fury more, which is good for our Forceful Winds talent. So if the build works, guys, it actually works quite well. We ended up doing 15.1k overall, so I was really happy with the numbers there. So that's it. That is a very basic standard setup. There's no extra sauce on that build. It's just Witch Doctor Wolfbones plus a very normal talent setup, and it worked very, very well in our 20 Halls of Atonement. So we are going to continue to look for the plus 20s on every single key so that I can get all the portals. I'm still looking towards that 3k IO, and I'm thankful that you guys are here with me on the journey. Thank you so much for being here and for watching. Drop a like down below if you like this video, and hit the subscribe button as well if you would like to. I'd really appreciate it. Also, guys, there will be the Patreon link down below. If you want to go to the Patreon and support me, I would also really appreciate that as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.